It's official. JK Dobbins is a Denver Bronco. Welcome in Broncos country to the Broncos Breakdown by Chat Sports. My name is Moose, and yes, all the breaking news that you saw on your timelines are correct. JK Dobbins has officially signed with the Denver Broncos on a one-year, $5.25 million deal with $2.7 million guaranteed. Now, before I break down what this means for the Broncos and what J.K. Dobbins is as a player, this is why you subscribe. If you haven't done so already, hit that big free red sub button. You're getting free breaking Broncos news all year long. That could be June, that could be July, that could be right in the heart of the NFL season in October. Either way, when breaking news happens surrounding your favorite team, we're going to be here to cover it, so hit that big red subscribe button. I want to start by asking you this. What's your one-word reaction to the J.K. Dobbins signing? I'm going to give you mine. Insurance. It's an insurance play. J.K. Dobbins is a player that has massive injury history. And Tom Pelissero was the first one to kind of break the story for us. Went out and basically said, Dobbins, the comeback player of the year finalist, is signing with the Broncos. And last year had over 1,000 yards from scrimmage and 9 touchdowns in just 13 games. Now, every single season that Dobbins has been in the NFL, he has been plagued by at least some injury. However, for the production that you're getting from him and the amount that you've paid, it's very clear that this is just that little extra cherry on top for this Broncos running back room. Now, a little bit more about Dobbins, the player. He's a little bit more thunder than he is lightning. A little bit more north to south than he is east to west. He's a player that has great hands and the ability to exploit holes when he's running forwards rather than side to side. He's not going to be as shifty as R.J. Harvey, but what he lacks in shiftiness, he makes up for in strength. Now, I did mention to you before, he's got injury history. I mean, since 2022, he's only played 22 games. So 3 years, 22 games. It's a bit of a red flag. And not that it's any of his fault, because you can't really control injuries. But the truth is that he's an injury-prone player. So it would have been an incredibly risky move for the Broncos to sign him to a multi-year contract, which is why having a one-year deal makes perfect sense. And even if you do only get 12 to 13 games out of J.K. Dobbins, is it unreasonable to assume that he could end up getting you over 1,000 scrimmage yards? Absolutely not. It's incredibly possible. He did it last year. So let's take a look at the updated running back depth chart. Now, I know a lot of people are going to freak out about this. R.J. Harvey's not the RB1. Well, Dobbins has proven ability to be RB1. He's been an RB1 since he entered the league. So this is clearly going to be his starting role day one. Now, with the way Sean Payton runs his offense, I don't think that there's a necessary lead back, so to speak, at least in the first few weeks. This is going to be a rotation of running backs. Dobbins is going to get his touches. Harvey's going to get his touches. Estime is going to get his touches. You're going to see an amalgamation of different packages, with Dobbins maybe being more under center, Harvey more in the shotgun. It's a low-risk, high-reward play for the Broncos. And that's why I have to give it a solid B or B+. Because the Broncos clearly saw value in signing J.K. Dobbins. They looked at the running back room and they said, are we really going to trust that R.J. Harvey, straight out of the gates, week one, is going to blow everyone away? Or could we add a veteran presence here and just have a little bit more insurance, a little bit more of a fallback plan, a little bit more of a way to breathe? And I think that's why they did it. Because when Dobbins is on the field, you can't deny he's a really, really good player. And I look at what he did last year on the Chargers, understanding how to go up against a really solid defensive unit like Jim Harbaugh's, who puts an emphasis on not only offensive lines but defensive lines. And I say he knows the ways to exploit those holes. He understands how to sit back and be patient and find his opening before punching through it. So, if anything, not only are you getting some extra production, but you're getting somebody that can mentor R.J. Harvey, someone that can teach him how to become the joker in Sean Payton's offense. Dobbins has really reliable hands. So all of this to just, for a 1-year, $2.7 million deal, seems like a no-brainer to me. And I'm really on board with what George Paton and Sean Payton did. So I'll ask you this question. Will Dobbins have over 1,000 scrimmage yards in 2025? Yes or no? I'm going to say yes. I think we're going to end up, if you had to put the over-under on how many games Dobbins plays, it's probably going to be, I'd put the over-under at 12. And I'll say he hits the over. I do think he misses a couple of games just based off his injury history alone. But if you could get 13 to 14 games out of Dobbins, it's a win-win situation. He's going to be a really good complement to R.J. Harvey. Thunder and lightning. I hope you agree with that because they play different styles. R.J. Harvey has that shiftiness, that quickness, though he's deep in his bag. Dobbins, while has some shiftiness, is more of a lower the shoulder, fight for that extra yard, and use that big lower center to just plow his way through. Now, again, the injuries, they do matter. And one thing I do want to highlight here is that all of his injuries have come to his knee or below, which is, it's kind of scary because as a running back, you rely on your legs the most in your game. So it's something that they're going to have to monitor. It's something that I'm sure they knew was going to happen or that they baked in when signing Dobbins. But I look at what Dobbins did last year and what he has proven since he's been in the NFL. And the truth is that this makes the Broncos running back room just a little bit better. And I think it's a great move from Sean Payton, who was asked about it. And he said that Dobbins is a great player. He still has a high belief in the running back room before they signed Dobbins. So now adding another player like Dobbins is just, it's the cherry on top. And I know that I'm repeating myself, but that's the truth. And on a 1-year deal, let's say Dobbins goes out and has an amazing season. Is it a possibility that the Broncos could re-sign him to another multi-year deal? Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's say he plays all 17 games. And let's say he has 1,200 rushing yards and over 1,500 yards from scrimmage and 10 touchdowns. You mean to tell me that we're just going to kick him out the door and say, thanks for everything, see you later? No, there's at least a conversation that happens right afterwards. So I look at Dobbins as that low risk, high reward, but I also look at this as, hey, if everything works out, you could stick around. He's not old, he's 26, so he's in the middle of his prime. There's a lot to be excited about if you're a Denver Broncos fan. And from last year's running back room to this year's running back room, it's a night and day difference. Something that I'm really looking forward to, and something that I'm sure Sean Payton has already schemed up multiple times in his head and on paper heading into the 2025 NFL season. Which leads me into this. If you're ready for Broncos football, like today's video, it's just got to put a smile on your face. It's got to get you pumped up at least a little bit to see how much different this Broncos offense is going to look heading into next season than it was at the beginning of last season. And no offense to Javonte Williams, but he wasn't an RB1. He's a really good RB2. And I think you're going to see that when he's in Dallas, not to digress. But now, with Dobbins, Harvey, and Estime as this sort of three-headed monster in Denver, that allows Bo Nix to progress at the rate that we all expected him to progress at. There's an opportunity to have a better amount of play action. There's a better opportunity for Nix to have an even better chance to just sit back in the pocket and deliver, go through his progressions to his wide receivers. Because a strong running game complements a really strong passing game. If the defense knows you're throwing, quarterback's usually in a, can't screw up situation. So now that we have better backs, Bo Nix is also going to be a winner out of this. And I can't wait. Remember to subscribe to the channel if you already haven't. Like today's video if you already haven't. And send this to a Broncos fan in your life. My name is Moose. Until next time, be cool.